Hi, I'm Takuya Okabe. I'm talking about an application of game theory to a PvP game played by two players, the attacker I and the opponent, the defender. And the attacker I have two choices. One is to throw a big move or a nuke move, and another choice is to throw a bait move, a weak move with a low energy cost. An opponent, the defender, has two choices. One is to shield, and the other one is not shield. So this is a 2x2 game. So there are four cases. One, I throw a nuke move and the opponent shields. And two, I throw a bait and the opponent shields. And three, I throw a nuke and the opponent no shield. And the last one, the four, I throw a bait and the opponent no shield. And the problem is how often I should throw a nuke and how often the opponent should shield. The answer is here, 40-90 rule. So that means the attacker should throw a nuke with a frequency of 40%, so four times out of 10, and the defender should shield with a frequency of 90%, 9 times out of 10. So this talk is for educational purpose. I want to let you understand why. To proceed further, we have to be more specific. So I borrow this problem setting settled by Jason2819. I put the link in the description below. In the first case, opponent shields my nuke move. Then let us assume this is not good but not bad for me and for the opponent. So let us assume the chance of winning, my winning, is 50%. And the second case, opponent shields my bait move. So this is bad for me. So no, this is good for me. So let us increase this 50% chance by 10%. And the third one is, and this is a critical one, I throw a nuke, but opponent no shields. So let us assume this is 100% chance of my winning. The last case, opponent no shields my bait. This is bad for us. In fact, the third case is the best case scenario for us, and the fourth one is the worst case scenario, so that this percent chance must be smaller than the other three. Now let's assume the probability or frequency that I throw a nuke move. We want to obtain the optimal value for this frequency, and then my chance of winning becomes like this, times b and times 1 minus b, like this. This is put into this. If opponent shields, my chance of winning is this. And if opponent no shields, then my chance of winning is this. Let us plot these two functions. So this is the result. This curve, if opponent shields a blue line, this x-axis is the nuke frequency P, and the orange one is the case opponent no shields. From the opponent's perspective, the opponent wants to minimize my chance of winning, because this is a zero-sum game. Zero-sum game is the game, if I win, the opponent lose. If I lose, the opponent wins. So the opponent wants to minimize this. And to do so, the opponent should shield if my P is larger than about 40%. And opponent should no shield if the P is less than about 40%, right? So if the opponent plays rationally or reasonably, then my chance of winning becomes this as a function of probability P. And from my perspective, I want to maximize this winning probability. And it is clear, you know, the optimal frequency P should be about 40%. This is the end of first half of my talk. Next, let us consider opponent shield with frequency capital P. Similarly as above, we can obtain my chance of winning as a function of P like this. And these two functions are plotted like these. Now, from my perspective, I want to maximize my chance of winning. So, my choice is to throw a nuke if capital P is less than 90%. And if capital P is above 90%, I should bait. So as a result, my chance of winning becomes like this if I play rationally, reasonably. From the opponent's perspective, the opponent wants to minimize this chance of winning of me. To minimize this, the answer is clear, this. So optical frequency for the opponents to shield is 90%. Conclusion: the attacker, I, should throw a nuke move with a frequency of 40%, and the defender should shield with a frequency of 90%. To attract your attention, I give you a fun fact. Toss 3 coins. If you obtain 1 head and 2 tails, the probability is about 40%. If you find anything other than heads, 3 heads, then the probability is 90%. So consider this game a match and throw 3 coins. If you, from the defender's perspective, if you get 3 heads, then it's your time to no shield. And from the attacker's perspective, if you get 1 head and 2 tails, then you should throw a nuke move. You might think that this 40% frequency is too low, because it is often said that the advanced player do not tend to bait so often. So this is a breakdown of this number 40%. First of all, this number 40% minus 30%, which appears in the numerator, is the difference of bait move when shielded and no shielded. On the other hand, this difference is the difference of a nuke move, unshielded and shielded. So I should say this is a definition of a nuke. This difference, there's a good reason that this is bigger than this. So there is a good reason that this optimal frequency, nuke frequency, should be less than half, 50%. On the other side, this defender shield probability 90% is this. The difference is here. In the numerator, we have the difference in the probability winning chance of the best case scenario and the worst case scenario. It is good reason to believe that this is very big number. So it is very plausible that this shield frequency, optimal shield frequency should be nearly 100%. Thank you for watching. I'm Takuya Okabe.